India is home to more than 1.4 billion people, but despite being the world's most populous country, most people know almost nothing about what it's really like. Not just the famous landmarks or the stereotypes, the real India, its landscapes, its cultures, and the facts that most people never think to ask about. Get ready, because in this video you'll discover 25 surprising facts about India that will completely change the way you see this remarkable country. Number 25. Most countries have places you can visit. India has one that almost nobody ever will. North Sentinel Island is home to one of the last completely uncontacted tribes on Earth, the Sentinelese. They have lived in total isolation for thousands of years and have repeatedly rejected all outside contact. In 2018, an American missionary was killed during an illegal attempt to reach the island. Today, the Indian government enforces a strict exclusion zone around the island, and even approaching too closely is illegal. In a world that feels fully explored, this place remains completely off limits. Number 24. The wettest place in the world is not in the Amazon or Southeast Asia, it's in India. The village of Mawsynram in Meghalaya receives around 11,800 millimeters of rain every year, making it the global record holder for rainfall. Moist air from the Bay of Bengal is forced upward by the surrounding hills, triggering near constant monsoon downpours. For locals, rainfall isn't an occasional event. It shapes every part of daily life, from housing design to how people move through the landscape. Number 23. In India's far northeast, there is a village where a single step can mean crossing an international border. Longbar sits directly on the boundary between India and Myanmar, and the line even cuts through the home of the village chief. The chief's house literally sits across both countries, with one side in each. Despite this unusual division, life continues seamlessly, with the community sharing culture and traditions that existed long before modern borders were ever drawn. Number 22. The India-Bangladesh border contains one of the most confusing territorial arrangements anywhere on the planet. Dozens of tiny enclaves of one country were completely surrounded by the other, creating isolated pockets of land with no direct access to their own nation. Some of these enclaves even contain smaller enclaves inside them, forming a nested pattern of borders that made governance almost impossible. In 2015, both countries agreed to exchange territories, finally simplifying a situation that had persisted for generations. Number 21. Most people picture India's islands sitting just off its coastline, but some are far removed from the mainland. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands lie over 1,200 kilometers away in the Bay of Bengal, placing them much closer to Myanmar, Thailand and Indonesia than to mainland India. On a map, they feel almost detached from the country itself. This distance completely changes how you think about India's geography, revealing just how vast and spread out this territory really is. Number 20. Most bridges are built from wood, steel or concrete. In northeastern India, some are grown instead. The Khasi people of Meghalaya guide the roots of rubber fig trees across rivers and streams, slowly weaving them together over decades until they become living bridges strong enough to walk across. Some are believed to be hundreds of years old and continue growing stronger with time. Few structures anywhere in the world become more durable simply by getting older. Number 19. India is home to one of the world's rarest lakes because it wasn't formed by rivers, glaciers or volcanoes. Around 50,000 years ago, a meteorite slammed into the Deccan Plateau, creating what is now Lonar Lake in Maharashtra. The impact left behind a near-perfect crater almost 2 kilometers across. Even more unusually, the lake contains both alkaline and saline water, creating an ecosystem found in very few places on Earth. Number 18. Some of India's roads climb higher than many mountains elsewhere on Earth. Umling La in the remote region of Ladakh reaches an elevation of more than 5,800 meters above sea level, making it one of the highest motorable roads on the planet. At that altitude, the air contains almost half the oxygen found at sea level. Simply walking can leave visitors breathless. Driving there feels less like crossing a mountain pass and more like visiting another planet. Number 17. When the sun is already high in the sky in India's far east, the west of the country is still pitch black. India stretches almost 3,000 kilometers from side to side, enough distance for the sun to rise nearly 2 hours earlier in some regions than others. Yet the entire country operates on a single unified time zone. Despite repeated proposals over the decades to split the country into multiple time zones to save energy, India has fiercely maintained one standard time since independence to preserve a sense of national unity. Number 16. Most of India's major rivers, including the Ganges and Brahmaputra, flow east towards the Bay of Bengal. But several of the country's largest rivers do the exact opposite. Rivers such as the Narmada and Tapi cut across the subcontinent before emptying into the Arabian Sea. Their unusual paths were shaped by ancient geological forces that created deep rift valleys across central India. On a map, they seem to flow against the grain of the entire country. Number 15. National parks are supposed to stay in one place. This one doesn't. Keibul Lamjau National Park in the state of Manipur floats on the surface of Loktak Lake. The park sits on massive masses of vegetation, soil and organic matter known as fungus, which drifts slowly across the water over time. It is the only floating national park on Earth, and it is home to the endangered Sangai deer, a species found nowhere else. From above, it looks less like a landscape and more like a collection of moving islands. Number 14. There are only a handful of places left in the world where wild lions still exist. There are even fewer where they share a country with wild tigers. India is the only nation on the planet where both species still survive in the wild today. Asiatic lions are found primarily in Gujarat's Gir forest, while Bengal tigers roam habitats ranging from the Himalayan foothills to tropical jungles. For thousands of years, India's position at the crossroads of Asia and the Indian Ocean has allowed same species from different worlds to survive within the same country. Number 13. In the city of Srinagar in Indian-administered Kashmir, even the post office floats. Located on the waters of Dal Lake, the building operates from a houseboat and continues to serve local residents and tourists alike. Letters are collected and sorted while surrounded by wooden boats and floating markets rather than roads and cars. Opened in 2011, it is widely regarded as India's first floating post office and one of the most unusual postal services anywhere in the world. And now we are only halfway through the list, and some of the most surprising facts are still to come. Number 12. On a stretch of road near Leh in Ladakh, cars appear to roll uphill all by themselves. The location has become known as Magnetic Hill, and for years visitors believe some mysterious force was pulling vehicles upward against gravity. In reality, the surrounding landscape creates a powerful optical illusion that makes a downhill slope appear to rise instead. Even after knowing the explanation, watching it happen in person still feels strangely convincing. Number 11. The largest mangrove river delta in the world lies where India meets Bangladesh. Formed by the Ganges, Brahmaputra and Mengar rivers, the Sundarbans cover thousands of square kilometres of waterways, islands and mangrove forests. It is one of the few places where tigers regularly swim between islands in search of prey. The landscape is constantly changing as rivers shift course and new land emerges from the mud. It's less a fixed place than a living geography in motion. Number 10. India runs the largest democratic election in the world, but one rule applies everywhere. No voter should have to travel more than 2 kilometers to cast their ballot. That commitment produces some extraordinary polling stations. In the Gir forest of Gujarat, election officials regularly set up an entire polling station for a single voter living deep inside the wilderness. Staff transport voting machines, security personnel and equipment purely to serve one citizen. Few countries take universal voting access quite this far. Number 9. India even has its own version of the Grand Canyon. In the state of Andhra Pradesh lies Gandikota, a vast gorge carved by the Pennar River through ancient granite rock. Towering cliffs rise thousands of feet above the valley floor, creating landscapes that feel strikingly similar to the American Southwest. Despite its scale and beauty, it remains relatively unknown outside India, earning it the nickname of India's Grand Canyon. Number 8. Most people don't associate India with volcanoes, yet hundreds of kilometres east of the mainland in the Andaman Sea sits Barren Island, the only confirmed active volcano in South Asia. The island is completely uninhabited and erupts periodically, sending ash and lava high into the air above the surrounding ocean. From a distance, it appears almost tropical and idyllic. Up close, it's one of the most geologically active places in the entire region. Number 7. Few countries on Earth contain as much geographical variety as India. In the north, temperatures in the Himalayas can plunge far below freezing among glaciers and snow-covered peaks. Travel south and you eventually reach tropical beaches lined with palm trees and coral reefs. The distance between these extremes is roughly the same as travelling from southern Spain to northern Norway, yet all of it exists within a single country and a single set of borders. Number 6. Northern India is dominated by one of the largest and most fertile plains on Earth. Formed by thousands of years of sediment carried down from the Himalayas, the Indo-Gangetic Plain stretches across much of northern India and into neighbouring countries. Hundreds of millions of people live here, making it one of the most densely populated regions anywhere on the planet. From space, it appears less like a collection of cities and more like one continuous human landscape. Number 5. Every summer, one of the most powerful weather systems on Earth arrives over India. The Indian monsoon brings rain to hundreds of millions of people and delivers around 70% of the country's annual rainfall in just a few months. Entire agricultural cycles depend on its arrival. If it comes late, weak, or fails altogether, the consequences can ripple through food supplies, energy production, and the wider economy. Few weather systems anywhere affect as many people as the Indian monsoon. Number 4. India's most populous state would be one of the largest countries on Earth if it were independent. Uttar Pradesh is home to around 240 million people, more than Brazil, Russia, or Pakistan. If it were its own nation, it would rank among the 10 most populous countries on the planet. Yet, it occupies less than 8% of India's land area. Numbers on that scale are difficult to picture until you realise they exist within just one part of one country. Number 3. India is home to 2 mountain ranges that represent completely different chapters of Earth's history. The Aravalli Range in western India is among the oldest mountain systems on the planet, with origins stretching back over 1 billion years. The Himalayas, by comparison, are geological newborns, having formed only around 50 million years ago. Very few places allow you to stand between mountains separated not by distance, but by almost an entire 1 billion years of history. Number 2. Frozen alpine tundra, arid deserts, tropical rainforests, Mediterranean coastlines, grasslands, wetlands, and mangrove forests. Almost every major climate type found on Earth exists somewhere within India's borders. The country experiences everything from Himalayan blizzards to temperatures exceeding 50 degrees Celsius in the Thar Desert. That range of environments is why India can contain snow leopards in the Himalayas, elephants in its forests, and lions and tigers thousands of kilometres apart, all within one country. Number 1. The story of modern India began millions of years before humans existed. Around 100 million years ago, the Indian landmass was an island drifting north across an ancient ocean. Eventually, it collided with Asia in one of the most violent geological events in Earth's history, creating the Himalayas in the process. What makes this remarkable is that the collision never stopped. India is still moving north by several centimetres every year, and the Himalayas are still rising because of it. India is one of the most diverse countries on earth, and even after 25 surprising facts, we've barely scratched the surface. Which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. If you want to keep exploring the world, the next video is already waiting. And if this one was worth your time, a like and a subscribe genuinely helps the channel.